Hello and welcome to episode 110 of the Talk Nintendo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Casey Gibson, and joining me this fine evening, the one, the only, Mr. Perry Burkum.
Hello, Casey Gibbons. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, couldn't be better. Sitting here, just had a half of a Pepper Jack's Philly cheesesteak sandwich.
Well, I know what could make that
It
better.
was delicious. What's that?
Being joined by Mr. Michael T.Y.P. Cole.
Oh, hey, oh boy, am I hearing that? Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. No. Sorry, it's not Luigi, it's me. Sorry. Hi, guys. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. How's it going, man?
It's going. It sure is going.
I know that feeling.
You having a nice, busy life over there?
Chasing the little rugrat drains the energy so much, but I love him.
I can only imagine. Yeah. We just got a pooch, and I not to compare it to having a child, but even running around with that thing.
Yeah. I'm at the point with all my nieces and nephews that I like to just, every time I see them, we just wrestle, and I just, it's so much fun, but I'm exhausted, so. But well, yeah.
That's the good thing about nieces and nephews. It's only part-time.
That's right. Exactly. That's the best part. So if anyone doesn't know, TYP is, of course, the host of Radio Trivia Podcast Edition.
Woo!
And on NWR. It's been for about 45 years.
Hold on a second. At least divide that by 2.
Okay, 22 and a half years. Yeah, it's a nice it's a music podcast.
It's a great podcast.
They dive into different original soundtracks for each game, and there's a little game also where you try to guess which it is, and it's revealed. And we're gonna do that on this podcast. We've done it before, and we're doing it again.
You fools!
It's been a while.
It has. Yeah. It has.
Yeah,
no, it's great. You guys are prodding me to actually record an episode in your clever little way, because I've just just not doing it so often anymore. But yeah, I've been doing that since golly, maybe 2001. Man, so you aren't that far off with your jokey how long it's been, but it's a lot of fun. I still try to do it, and we're gonna do it right now. We're gonna do it right. Well, okay, what, minute, 2 minutes?
Momentarily,
yeah, something like that. Momentarily, yeah. Yeah. Casey still has to think of his hint question.
No, but, hey, I came prepared. Don't try and throw me under the bus.
Yeah, unlike me.
Well, that's okay. So each of us has, well, first of all, yeah, we're gonna let's do this because we're gonna be cross posting on Radio Trivia. So let's take a little musical break to bring us into Radio Trivia right now.
Hello. It is time for a very special episode of Radio Trivia Podcast Edition. I am your host, Michael T.Y.P. Cole, and we're doing another crossover with a Talk Nintendo podcast, which means Casey and Perry are here. Hello, guys.
Hello. It's a pleasure to be here, as always.
Uh-oh. I didn't plan on Wario being here. Uh-oh.
I'm gonna win.
Oh, boy.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not going to win. I never win.
So yes, this is a special episode. We did this once before. It's going to be a real episode here. We're doing games we've never used on the podcast before, but we're only going to do 3 games here because this is cross-posted. It's part of a larger podcast. You'll be able to hear me and Casey and Perry on the Talk Nintendo podcast. So we're going to do 3 games, 3 songs each, and we haven't told each other selections, so we're going to play along with the other 2 guessing for each person's selection.
I wonder if Casey picked Xenoblade.
It's fun. We've done this before, and it'll probably fail miserably, but it'll be fun anyway.
Yeah, right. No, TYP never fails miserably at Radio Trivia. He usually almost either he gets it on the nose or he gets it on like the upper
ballpark.
like the upper like lip.
Yeah, it's close. We'll
We'll see.
Although I think last time I was worried I was going to go over, and I think I did well.
Oh yeah,
But
I think you got 2 out of 3. I think you got them both.
My confidence level is at a low going into this episode, though, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm just sad that I can't do Bionic Commando again for the Game Boy. I love that game. But I think we decided that Casey is going to be going first this round. Is that correct? So
I reckon.
You reckon? I reckon.
I reckon so.
We're going to listen to his first song then right now. Well, that was setting the mood in a very eerie type way, Casey.
Yeah.
That's a little bit creepy, a little mysterious.
And, I do want to apologize. I could only find music with a lot of rain in it. I don't know if those were actually part of the tracks or if it was just recorded while it was. It is a bit of a rainy game, so.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
The second part, you'll hear some more soothing rain.
Ooh, well, let's listen to it right now.
I like it. I'm not sure I know what this is.
I have a feeling you guys won't know what this is, but
I have a funny guess.
I don't know. I've got a hint here, and I sort of tried to make it a little helpful because I felt like a lot of people might not have played this game. But this sequel takes place in the 1940s and manages to combine Nazis, zombies, and the mob into the story.
I know what this is. I can't believe that I guessed it and I got it. Oh my goodness! But I'll wait till we listen to this third one.
digging this music.
Yeah.
I guess I should guess first because I don't think I know this.
Yeah, you should guess.
Well, I mean, the first song kind of reminded me of Rayman Legends. It's not. The third one
Yeah, I
reminded
can
me of
kinda
like
see
Stick
that,
It to
though.
the Man or something.
Yes, I was gonna say that too. Yeah.
I've never played this game. I've only heard someone talk about it. I don't remember the name of it, but I seem to recall it being some sort of maybe puzzle or platform where it's all in silhouette that came out for maybe Wii U on the eShop. I don't remember the name of it though, so I doesn't count. I can't really guess that, but that's.
If you would
that's
have
my
guessed this
guess.
game, I would have flown over there and given you a kiss on the lips because I don't think you would have ever gotten this. I mean, I'm not assuming I got this right, but
I don't know. You
Casey.
seem pretty confident.
I am pretty confident, and that's usually my demise. But I believe that this game is Guns, Gore, and Cannoli 2.
Yes, sir. You got it.
I can't believe you picked that game.
Wow, I've never heard of this
Well,
game.
I'm so happy. That's so great. That's amazing.
Well, yeah, this is, for the people who are listening to this on the radio trivia side of things, on the Talk Nintendo podcast, we go through the eShop every week, and what we do is we sort of pick what game we think looks the best to us, at the unknown gem, if you will. So, we play...
Like of the week. Every week we go through the latest releases, and we pick our favorite game that looks the funnest, or the most fun.
Yeah, and it happened to be a review game, and no one had taken it, so I was like, you know what, I'll check this game out. Because listening to the name Guns, Gore, and Cannoli 2, you'd sort of think like, oh, okay, like that game's gonna be stupid and
It's like a Flash game
and not worth my
from
time.
the browser and
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a horrible name. But it's actually a super fun game. It's a run and gun game. You got 360 aiming, so got sort of the twin stick shooter vibe going to it. But you've got a ton of different weapons. And you go through and you play as Vinny Cannoli, and he's I didn't play the first game, but I guess the first game was more involved with the zombies side of things. So in this game, you break out, you're in the mob, someone's looking for you, so you're like, I'm gonna go out and if he's looking for me, I'm looking for him, so I'm gonna go find him, and the game is just bananas, the story's all over the place.
It's just cannolis.
Yeah, you literally fly into Normandy, storming the beaches. It's outrageous, but it's a lot of fun, and it's got like online co-op that you could play. It's like I said, it's got tons of different weapons, and like I said, it's got a surprisingly good soundtrack. It's funny, like you're outside and you hear the music, and then when you go shift into the building, you see like the old time radios, and that's when you hear like the dun 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 dun. I thought that was pretty clever.
Very cool.
What system is this out on? Or systems?
This is for the Switch, but I'm pretty sure it's on Steam as well.
Too.
But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it's out. It looks like it's out for PS4, and I'm assuming Xbox One. So you could probably get it anywhere. On the Microsoft Store. So pretty much anywhere you could play games, you can check this game out. And like I said, you listen to the title and you'd think it'd be a throwaway garbage game, but I had a really good time with it.
Yeah.
and that's what
Casey.
I was trying to
so
think
happy.
of games like that I'd played semi-recently that wouldn't have been on Radio Trivia, and I was like, there's no way. So, I checked the old forum thread, and I saw that was not on there, so it was like, then I was just happy to be able to find music for it online.
Yeah, hint,
seriously.
anything that's like Wii U era or later, I'm much less likely to have used it, because that's about when the output kind of slowed down for episodes. So
Right.
There's lots of fruitful ground between the retail and
there is.
eShop games in that era and beyond. I imagine there's a lot of 3DS stuff I haven't touched, too, just because of the eShop.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, there's literally thousands of games that you haven't touched on the Switch, probably.
Yeah, because
I think there's over 1,000. So I was just thinking, literally today, it was funny. I was just thinking, Casey, that we have talked about, and I don't know if any other podcast can say this, that we have talked about every single game that has come out on the Switch.
at least a little bit.
Ooh,
Isn't that funny?
that is
Too many
Isn't that
a
games.
insane?
dubious honor.
Yeah. Yeah, dubious.
Honor, or
exactly.
should we be ashamed of ourselves?
Yeah. But yeah, that was great, Case. Thank you. And I got it right. I got it.
So you had it before the hint, and the hint just sort of reassured.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I couldn't believe it.
Awesome job.
Especially the earlier songs, I feel like aren't,
Well, and I kind of feel like I'm at a pretty good advantage here because I gather the soundtracks when I edit our podcast. So I've gotten a song from them
bits
before.
And pieces, yep.
That's true. So just
He's
full
cheating.
disclosure here.
Yeah, you
I'm cheating.
got the home turf advantage here.
He's cheating. Yeah, I do. But anyway. So, TYP, do you want to go next or should I go next?
Sure, I'll go.
Okay.
Sweet.
Well, let's listen to TYP's first song.
I like it, but I have no idea.
Yeah, I have not any idea. Because I can't even figure out like the era really.
The beginning sounded almost like a trippy Mario a little bit, and then it sort of got away from that. I don't know, like that first
it
little like
have that, doesn't it?
The very beginning, but then then it sort of went more away from that. But
yeah, yeah, kind of like in some weird way, like reminds me of like the Mario from Mario Sunshine, like with like the painty, shadow Mario that runs around. I don't know, it kind of has that vibe in it. Anyway,
you're rambling.
Mario. I'm rambling. That means we should probably move on to the second song then, right?
creepy clown music was in order for around Halloween time, you know?
Yeah.
I am liking this music, that's for certain. Oh, it's so strange. I feel like in this one, like, I can't put my finger on it, but I feel like I've heard a little bit of it before as well, but then it moves away from that, and I hope the hint helps us here.
Sure.
Like 95% of my life, I'm still lost.
All right, here's your crummy hint question.
Okay.
This game introduced which questionable combat mechanic to the series?
That's a thinker. Which questionable combat mechanic?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to think about that as we listen to song 3.
I feel like it's not going to help me one bit.
I've probably had enough of this. Makes you cry, doesn't it?
What a shift in tone from the beginning part of that song to the second half.
So, like, at the beginning, I was like, okay, this is like
Sentimental.
some, like, you know, anime RPG, Radiant Historia. I don't no idea. And then it's like Sonic Boom.
I won't lie, Sonic came to mind. I was like, yeah, what Sonic game maybe is out there that we haven't talked about or something?
Yeah.
All right, guys, want to guess?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty clueless.
I'm gonna guess Sonic Boom just because I'll probably never get that chance again.
Any other guesses?
I don't even have a guess. No, I would just be embarrassing myself.
Oh, come on, Casey. You guys are so close. This is, and I'm proud of this one. This is Shadow the Hedgehog.
Are you serious? Dude, I was gonna say that. I was going to say that because I cannot believe I didn't. I was like, should I say Shadow the Hedgehog or Sonic Boom? I cannot believe that.
Yeah,
oh my
so
goodness.
funny.
Sonic Boom is too
my
recent to have that
goodness.
kind of music, I think. Although I've only
that's
played a little
amazing.
bit of it at an E3 demo.
How
so
dare you?
Yeah, it's like that
How
forgotten really bastard
dare
child
you.
of the Sonic Adventures series. It's Shadow the
Oh,
Hedgehog.
man.
Yeah, everyone's favorite in that series. Man. Actually, it's probably... I've never
wow.
played it other than one demo, but... ooh, yeah, it's got problems. It's
Wow.
so it's basically...
It is a Sonic game. I feel like that goes hand in hand.
Well, yeah, but this game had guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And swearing.
Yes. And as I
So
understand
it's
it, there was
cool.
no like lock-on or anything. They didn't really change the notoriously bad Sonic Adventure 2 camera for this game, so there's no lock-on. You gotta like manage the camera a lot just to shoot. And, ugh.
Wow.
So I had to hunt for some acceptable songs from this because I do feel like they took like the worst songs from Sonic Adventure 2 and kind of used that as the basis. A lot of like the angry, angsty stuff because that's Shadow the Hedgehog, right?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my goodness.
And it sounds like later in the game, maybe because he's having a change of heart, it's the music gets a little bit more pleasant to listen to.
Shadow's change of heart.
Oh man, there's a lyric in one of the other songs. There are a couple vocal tracks in this game's soundtrack, and I think one of them, like the first two lyrics, are like "Shadow the Hedgehog, heroes rise again, obliterating everything that's not your friend." I don't think I'm making that one up. It's pretty bad.
I have.
So
That's amazing.
Yeah. You don't. I'm like ice. You don't be on my bad side.
I could only imagine.
yeah.
Wow. Well, honestly, it went through my head like, Shadow, and I'm like, no, TYP's not that scary for Halloween.
Yeah.
He wouldn't bring that horror to us. But I can't believe I've listened to 3 Shadow the Hedgehog songs.
They weren't terrible. The first two were not terrible. The third one,
No.
it was the best of the vocal tracks, and I felt like I had to throw one of those in there because it's sort of an iconic of that era Sonic
Totally.
thing to have.
And that's the
like,
one that totally gave any sort of clue that it could be a Sonic game to me, at least.
I think that the
that's-
first one
yeah.
does sound a lot like some stuff from Sonic Adventure 2, and the second one
Oh, sure.
sort of reminds me of like Casino Night or something, maybe. Or
I
whatever
admittedly have
the
not
one
played
Sonic
too
3
much
was called.
Sonic, so
Yeah.
I proudly admit that I have not played Sonic too much Sonic.
Okay. Well, very good. You're my
I know,
loss.
TYP,
You're
you're a Sonic fan,
benefit.
right?
So, especially this
that's
era
great.
stuff. Ooh. I like it in spite of
I
its many
firmly
many
believe-
warts. Not this game, but like the first 2 Sonic Adventures. But it was
Yeah,
the time
actually,
of life
I
I was
remember
in. Like,
playing on the GameCube the Sonic, one of those adventure games. I remember liking it. I mean,
yeah,
it was
the
great.
first one's a kind of a bad port. It had some technical issues. The Sonic Adventure 2, I think, fared better on the transition.
Sure. Yeah.
Learn
But
from
like
their
I was
mistakes.
gonna say, TYP. I firmly believe in learning and understanding history and not ignoring it. So it's good to remember these things existed. So
I wish I could say this was like the worst part of the 3D Sonic portfolio, but I think it gets worse. I personally think Sonic Heroes is a terrible game, although I haven't played this game enough to assess versus that. Sonic Boom seems pretty widely derided, so this may not be the worst Sonic or Sonic spin-off game by a long shot,
right.
sadly.
Well,
Maybe the most
that on
ill-conceived
the
in
box
terms
art.
of its general premise. But and yes, I'm including Sonic Maze, where I think he's trapped into wearing slow shoes so he doesn't run fast.
slow
Whatever
shoes.
the heck the name of that game is. You know the one. You can look it up.
That's so good.
slow shoes. That's great. Well, we can probably move on from that one. I think.
I just hope Perry didn't pick a Sonic game as well.
I know. I was worried when I heard. I was like, oh, did we pick the same game? All right, well, let's go ahead and listen to
Jimmy's song here.
Jimmy's song.
Very pretty. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, very whimsical. I liked it. I could keep on listening to that song. And good thing it was like 4 minutes long.
I'm very happy
Yeah,
go lucky. No anger in that song.
Yeah,
Die, Robotnik!
Yeah, I love the percussive qualities that they like bring out of like every instrument, you know, like the pizzicato of the like the plucking of the violins and stuff. I think it's just really cool. Anyway, yeah,
Definitely not a Sonic game.
Well,
Says me at a
don't
podcast.
assume anything.
I'm struggling to think of a Sonic game we haven't used that would have that kind of music.
Well, you know me. I'm gonna bring some sort of Sonic game on a radio trivia.
No, that would be me.
All right, let's listen to number 2. How cool is that song, right?
It's beautiful.
Right?
It really is a cool soundtrack.
Yeah.
I need that hint question. My God, I need that hint question.
The hint question and the third song. I'm looking forward to both of them.
This is both. This is both a crappy hint question, but probably a good giveaway. So, here it is. Going through a near decade-long development, which popular Nintendo character has the most in common with this game's main character's traversal method?
I'm not sure I can even parse that question.
Well, I'm not repeating myself. It's just,
I'm looking forward to the third song.
Which Nintendo character is most in common with the way that this character moves?
And you said something about a 10-year development cycle?
No, a longer one, didn't? No.
Going through a near decade long.
Okay, so a nice
development,
a hardy development cycle.
Yeah, that might give away some of what it is, but maybe we should listen to the third song.
Yes, sir.
All right. I could have, had a more happy song, but I was like, wait, this is Halloween time.
You gotta
keep it
yeah.
a little eerie,
little drab.
Gotta keep it a little scary, a little tribal.
Well, I had an idea after the first song, and the second one sort of went along with that. Third one threw a little, not completely, where I still feel like this could potentially be the game. I don't know if TYP has a guess.
I really don't. The hint question is confusing more than anything. I'm trying to think of a game that took a super long time to develop. That has AAA production and was also a Nintendo released game, and that's what's stumping me.
Is it definitely? You're just assuming it's AAA, right?
Well, it's not Nintendo released.
Yeah, I am. I think the soundtrack is pretty high quality, and
yeah,
and you can't sustain a development cycle like that usually without a big budget.
Well, my guess is completely opposite of that. Yeah.
Well, Case, what are you gonna guess?
I'm gonna guess Owlboy, but
right.
I could be way off. So.
Oh yeah, see, I'm not thinking of those. I haven't been tracking the eShop games too closely. That's a good guess.
Because when you said the long development time, I remember there being an indie game that had a very long development time, but I don't know. I don't remember if it was Owlboy or if it was something like Flint Hook. But I'll stick with Owlboy.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a guess. That's lame for me to say. I really. That's a good guess, and I
okay.
can't steal it. So,
Well, I did. Yeah, I should have picked. Well, I should have picked an older game, but unfortunately, Casey is correct.
Boom.
It is Owlboy.
Because for me, I've never played Owlboy, so I've never really heard any of the soundtrack, but I know the visuals are gorgeous, and
Oh my goodness.
hearing those first two songs, I could sort of picture it going alongside that kind of look and feel.
Brilliance and stuff. Yeah.
But yeah,
that's how you play the game. I'm a loser.
Yeah.
You guys win. Told
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
I'd fail miserably. Don't believe me.
Oh, that's okay. No, pish tosh. So, I just got this game finally, physically, in the mail. I got the collector's edition of this game. And I had no idea that, let's say, if games were, like, if the boxes of games, if the size of the boxes equated to the development time, it would make sense for this, because the box is huge. Like, it's like the size of a Monopoly board game.
Oh,
like, it's
geez.
huge. It's huge.
You're
and it's
getting
like,
your money's worth.
what is this? Yeah, and you open it, but
You're not talking like the one that
interestingly
folds
enough-
into fourths either, right? You're talking about like the big old only folds in half one.
Yeah.
Is it,
no,
is
just
it
like a
akin
big old
to,
Monopoly.
like the Switch box, like the actual box, like for the Switch that you would get?
It's like, it's huge. You should just look it up. I can't explain it. You could fit, like, if the box was hollowed out, you could fit like 30 Switch games in it. It's a yeah. But then you open it up and there's just like, there's a lot of wasted space. I don't know why it's so big. I don't know what the big deal
Bigger
was.
is better, baby.
It's huge. It's gigantic. Like you know, you have the Slime Son one, right?
Yes.
Like, it's like twice as big as that. So
It is
anyway,
gorgeous looking, though.
Yeah, no, this game is gorgeous. And it came with like some pins, and it came with the soundtrack, which, as you can hear, is absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I don't know really too much about. I know the game like started like when the idea for this game came when the Revolution was announced, and the idea of going back to 2D games and pixel games and just the retro renaissance.
He was
like when that was like a
he was ahead of the curve, but it just took too
and then
long
he
to
ended
get out
up
ahead
being
of it.
ended up being in the tail end of that, where
Because it wasn't this entirely done by like one guy,
I believe,
or a very
5
small
people.
team, right?
I believe five people, and like apparently, I read something where like they had like $10,000, which is like nothing, like absolutely nothing.
That's maybe enough for like the development kit for a platform holder.
Yeah,
one.
Yeah, exactly. So it's but I mean, so they were trucking on, and I believe they gained kind of like a really good reputation with lots of people over this time, and people were following them. I know my friend who's not into too many, like not into the same games as Nintendo and stuff, but he was really big on this game like before it came out, and I remember seeing it on Steam when it came out. I believe like a couple of years ago. I'm like, wow. Look at this. The TIP, if you haven't got a chance to check this game out or see what it is, it's amazing. And it's some of the most gorgeous pixel art and animation I've ever seen. On Talk Nintendo, I called it one of my 2018 must-plays.
Okay, put on the list.
Of the year. I put that with Miles and Kilo. It's a phenomenal game. A really, really cool. I mean, like, the aesthetic and presentation is top of the line, and
I just remember the detail from seeing screens. It's like, wow.
So I wanted to say with the hint question, the hint question, I was talking about Kirby. So because the idea that he can fly, the main character can fly, and you don't have to touch I mean, like there's platforming, but you don't have to really. I mean, it's mostly centered on flying. And then I want to bring that up because, it's really easy to control. I mean, you're just in the air, and then you can move left, right, up, down with ease. And so if you can imagine, that can kind of make the gameplay not as
The Kirby syndrome, where it's easy.
kind of, yeah. Where it's easy, but then they do things to make it harder, so you feel like
It lulls you to a false sense of security then.
Yeah,
and I play super sloppy when I play a Kirby game.
Yeah,
Because you can.
True.
They don't push back too hard.
Right. And so I guess with this, the main kind of the gameplay hook is you pick up your friends and you're holding your friends as you fly. And then each friend does a different things. One friend can shoot. The other can I can't even remember what the other ones can do. It's been so long. But you can switch them out on the fly, and they transport away and come in, and then but you're holding them beneath you. So like when you're shooting, it's beneath. It's like you're not shooting from your character. You're shooting from the character that you're holding. And so
that's like Diddy Kong.
It's a little wonky. Like it's totally a little wonky. The gameplay is not like top of the line. It isn't, but it's totally great, and it works, and you know what I mean. So, and then it's just totally overwhelmed with presentation. So, it's a really awesome game, and like you said, I feel good that I can support them in their super long development. So, because it's really cool. So, lots of really great story and characters and stuff too. But yeah, Otis.
That's super impressive. You fooled me. I thought it sounded like a top of the line game. I guess it is.
Right?
It took a ton of time instead of a ton of money.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you started.
Exactly.
I was like starting to second guess myself. Like, wait, did I miss something?
Right.
Oh
right.
no.
But it totally makes sense. Either you got to be doing it out of love, and you're basically not making any money for it until you sell it,
Yeah.
or it's a big production.
Or they must be
thing.
moonlighting it, while having another job or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. But it's an awesome game.
Sweet.
All right. Well, congrats, guys. You both tied. I lost. I suppose that isn't too surprising. You guys know each other pretty well.
We're
this
at a little
podcast for over 100 episodes. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we're at a little bit of a disadvantage because I hear about every game that Perry plays. So
Yeah.
I could sort of try and pick and sort of remember what games he's played in the past. Because if I didn't talk about Guns, Gore, and Cannoli 2 on the show, there's no way Perry would have known that. There's just no way.
I would have loved it if TYP would have got that.
Yeah, he's like,
That would've been
Guns.
amazing.
of course,
but he
I
guessed
got
the first
the
one.
Cannoli game. Sure.
What else could it be?
The second one.
duh.
Well, I think it's a lot of fun. So I believe last time we did this was around a year ago. I need to look that up, but I feel like it's just kind of a fun. I was thinking it'd be a fun Halloween tradition to have a radio trivia around the Halloween holiday. So. And we can, first of all, Luigi's Mansion is it is the Halloween game, so it just makes sense.
I've said it.
The younger
I've said it here before. Radio Trivia is the best podcast out there. I love listening to game music, so just to come on here and it's just nice because you get to hear so many different games that we play a bunch of games, and like there's just so many games out there with cool music that. It's cool to just be able to hear a sampling of what other people are playing too, and then the element of getting to guess along and have fun with that too.
And to be honest, like when I play games, like a lot of times I'm missing out on the soundtrack because I'm watching TV, or you know what I mean, or I'm listening to a podcast. Don't boo me.
Oh, I'm booing you.
Someone's probably listening to this podcast while playing a game.
You're a monster.
I get it.
No,
I
just
actually
being
sometimes I'll
honest.
listen to the music, but I won't be using my headphones or anything, and sometimes. Like oh wow, there's like an instrument I totally just couldn't even hear using the tinny speakers in the Switch or whatever. So I mean, it totally makes sense. I mean, I'll choose a game like this game has this great soundtrack. I'm going to choose it, and then I listen to the music with actual headphones. I'm like, oh, this music's even better. So,
Yeah. I thought it was good before.
yeah.
Exactly. I mean, if I was playing like a game like Chicken Wiggle Workshop on Switch, I would probably listen with headphones.
Oh, well, that's one of the few games I'm willing to absolutely not listen to with headphones.
Self-serving douchebaggery.
Yeah. Yeah, that will never be on Radio Trivia ever.
I think I might have to do that next year. Just kidding.
After the
Don't forget I
first
said that.
second of the song. Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
All right, well, thanks guys for organizing this, and I guess this closes out the radio trivia portion of this podcast. But if you want to listen to more of our ramblings, we have a lot more of an episode to record, don't we? So goodbye, or maybe stick around till after the break.
Sounds good to me.
Yes, sir. We are back from a quick little breather, and of course just recorded a wonderful radio trivia segment here on the Talk Nintendo podcast, but also make sure to check out TYP's feed, the radio trivia. You want to download that or subscribe to that so you can get all the episodes. They're always a treat to listen to. But
of course,
moving along here, we've got some games to talk about, and I think we're just going to get right into what we've been playing, and I believe Perry's going to kick it off with well, why don't you tell us what you got?
Okay. Well, fitting with the Halloween theme, half intentionally, we have a game here that just came out that kind of snuck by us on Talk Nintendo, and it is called Tricky Towers. Yeah,
Scary,
Tricky
scary.
Towers. TIP, do you know what this game is?
I have no idea. And I prepared. Remember, we already went through this. I prepared for the wrong thing, so I didn't have a chance to read your game because I was busy looking at the wrong eShop games.
Oh, wonderful. Well, that's okay.
Excuses.
He's cheating. Yeah, Tricky Towers it's in a way it's a new way to play Tetris. Basically instead of tetrominoes falling down and you fitting them and clearing lines, you're now building a tower with them with physics.
Blasphemous.
With wobbly physics. Yeah, it is blasphemous in a way. And I guess with the Halloween theme, like it's kind of like it's very like the game is very Halloween themed because it's like towers and there's like witches and stuff like that. It's pretty cute.
I was looking at some of the screens, and they're a little small, and I'm like, is he making a reach here on the Halloween connection? Mm-mm. But there are witches. There's witches about.
There are witches and wizards. So
what do you got a race to the top here?
So there's three different kinds of play. Now, I'll talk about the good of the game, which the game is awesome. It's an awesome game. There's a race challenge, there's puzzle challenges, and then there's survival. So let me just explain the gameplay. So yeah, the tetrominoes are falling, and so the weird thing is you move them like individually from the grid based. Like you can get them off the grid. Like it's not just move it over. It's like if you don't get them exact, they might not be completely close and close together. But the thing is that works with the strategy of the game. It's so you'll build it up, and then so what you're going to want to do, for some of these challenges, it's like kind of like one of them is like build. I think it's survival. I'm pretty sure it's build. Like there's a line that you reach, and you try to put as many of the pieces beneath that line as you can before you hit it. So you don't want to make the skinny small tower that goes straight up.
You need a beefy tower.
You want to so like you want to put a long a straight piece out so it's hanging off the edge, but then make sure it doesn't fall by putting something on top of it like weight wise to hold it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
And then you're built. So then it has this old whole because Tetris to me, Tetris is like it is the falling, block puzzle game, like the top of the line, like perfect gameplay, addicting. Is it's as good on the Game Boy then as it is now. I mean, it's just a perfect game really to me. And it takes the fun, I just like the strategy that you have playing Tetris, like I love Tetris, and you have different strategies and stuff of how to put blocks in and how to make lines and like what you want to do to get bigger scores. some of that strategy comes back, but then some of the things that you're used to doing is like completely out the window. And like for instance, when I play Tetris, I usually try to align. This is probably what everyone does, I'm assuming, but you align everything so that you can put a straight 4-block down.
You got to get that tetramino or whatever they call it.
Yeah, a Tetris, I think is what they call it.
It's actually funny. I was watching like the competitive Tetris play last night, like the World Championships, and it's just amazing to see those guys play. But I forgot exactly what they called it when you get the 4 clear.
Yeah, I thought it was called a Tetris.
Well, I think one line is a Tetris. There's probably a special term for it.
Yeah, like I said, I think it was like a tetramino or
Tetris or something.
Yeah, they had some sort of word for it, and then you get the big points.
Gotcha. But but this game, you don't want to do that because you're not clearing lines. You're building a tower.
But why wouldn't that work if you're just doing completely thick, dense tower? Why is that not working?
Well, it could work. I mean, it could. It's just like, putting, like, if you were to put it on the side, like, it could fall off. Like, it's just, like, you'd want to put the straight piece in the middle, so that it wouldn't fall off. Because, like, the thing is if you, so you're laying pieces, and then suddenly one of them is unbalanced because you didn't hit it just perfect, or, and so now you'll have, like, for instance, it'll just be like one piece will be hanging off the corner of another. So it's like literally the grid is off, and now when you put a piece down, it's not going to be in flux, and it's going to be leaning against it. So if you mess up and suddenly your pieces will start to fall over. That's the tricky towers, right? So that they'll start to fall over, and you'll be struggling to even get a piece to stay on because they're going to be falling off because suddenly you've made it so where there's no flat parts of your tower. But then you hook it, and then you try to get it, and then there's upgrades that you get that will help. So like once you reach a certain line, you'll get a power up basically, and what that'll do is whenever you want to initiate it, one of them is like a vine power up, and what it does is it turns your piece that you're dropping into a vine piece that whatever it touches, other piece that it touches, it vines onto those and holds them together, and so suddenly that basically becomes one piece. Super useful because it'll just make everything you touch one piece and solid, and so it'll solidify what you're building. So I hope does that make sense? Like it.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
It's like it combines that piece with the others. It's awesome. I mean, it's really cool.
Is it rare that you find that kind of upgrade or that kind of piece?
No, it's like I said, it's like once you hit it's like once you hit a certain line, like when you build up, you'll get like an upgrade, and like depending on different modes, sometimes that comes more than others. There's also an upgrade where like it gives you like literally like it just puts like a stone balcony type thing up like on your thing so that you can start building from that stone. Like it'll basically give you a whole new place to build off of. It's very interesting and weird. But I really enjoyed the game, and you can play it online with other people. And as far as I know, I don't really think you affect other people. I don't think you really. I played it with Jules a little bit. I don't know if you're actually interacting with the other people while you're playing, or if you're just trying to race or just beat them. You know what I mean? So like if you're playing the survival mode, having the most tiles will win. But I don't think you're not necessarily like affecting their game. But there might be some things like every once in a while a piece will drop that's a big it's like it's twice the size, like it's a huge piece, and it will come down and you can lay it down, and I think those all drop for the same people, and I don't know if one of you initiates that, but anyway, you can play online, and there's daily challenges and there's endless mode and stuff. Now there's no friend matchmaking. You can't join up with friends, but technically you can. You can pull a good old launch day fast RMX.
Oh no!
So when me and Jules got on, I thought you could join friends because obviously that would be the best, right?
Because why shouldn't you be able to?
Why shouldn't you be able to? I mean, why would the devs want to go through more work to do that? Well, there's like you can play a match or you can play a cup, and a cup is 3. It has this whole system of if you win, it's the first one I think to get to 12 or 10 medals. If you get first, you get 3 medals. If you get second, you get 2, and bronze 1, fourth 0. So the first to get to 10 or 12, I can't remember, will win. But so I went into there, and it's a lobby waiting, and luckily, there wasn't tons of people to where when, I was talking to Jules on Skype that he just joined, like he could join, and we got in, and then it happened. We did that multiple times, and it worked just fine. So you can play with your friends, but
yeah, it's
you
gonna take
might
some
not
legwork.
be able to. Well, I mean, I said, it was a lot easier than Fast RMX because that was like, okay, let's all press it now. And then, we went through like 10 times before we were matched together. But this one was just,
So here's the problem.
Wasn't too busy.
If this game becomes popular because you talked about it here and you gave it a good sales pitch, you won't be able to do that anymore because there'll be too many people in the lobby.
That's right. Exactly. So don't buy the game. No, just kidding. Just kidding. No, I think the devs need to put in friend matches. I just think that's and what's crazy is that the weird, and this is a really weird part of the game, is that you can buy tile sets with real money from the eShop, like as DLC, that literally just change the way your tiles look. Isn't that weird? Like, and I think these are like either $1 or they're like $2.50. Yeah, but I mean, like, add that in with you can't even like match with your friends. It's like,
well, what were their priorities?
Who's gonna care?
That's
weird. Why not concentrate on
weird,
that
right?
instead of?
Yeah, but and then on top of that, and I know we're getting into the bad parts of the game, but it is a good game. The other weird thing is like it does a really weird job of explaining what the rules are. I mean, there's a single player mode that it's kind of acts as a tutorial, but even then it's kind of weird and but for instance, like online, when Jules played, he got the game, downloaded it, we played. I had played a little bit, but I still didn't exactly know what the rules exactly were. They don't tell you, and they put you in, and there's 3 different kinds of modes, and it'll just be like a random mode, and it will flash like survival, and it's like literally 1 second, like not even enough time to read it. And then it goes away. And then on top of that, you don't know which character you are on the screen unless you remembered from the screen before. Like if you're in the 1, 2, 3, or 4 position, it doesn't have your name up there, and so it's like you got to either move your cursor around to find it. And then the funny thing, why that's so ironic is like there's so much screen space. Like the actual towers are so tiny. Like. It's weird.
A lot of wasted space, you mean?
Yeah, tons of wasted space. So it's funny that they didn't even put the names in there. I don't know why they didn't want to do that.
Seems like it could have used a little QA where people, gave some feedback on some things.
Yeah, totally. It's just very, very weird. I mean, when it comes down to it, I'd rather have those kind of issues instead of having like major gameplay flaws, But like, it's just kind of weird when it comes together. Like, I don't know what to do here. And finally, after 5 rounds, I'm figuring out this is how you do, and this is what this does. You know what I mean? Now, like I said, there is a single player mode, but I feel like when people are getting it and to play online and stuff, like it was confusing. Like I had a confusing experience. So anyway, there could be is that a quality of life maybe thing that they would call that enhancements that you could do with the game, but.
Yeah, patch it up a little bit.
It could use a good just patch. I mean, the gameplay is solid and really fun. I really enjoy it, and it's a great. Like I said, it has the whole new sense of satisfaction, like with Tetris. It's a different kind where it's like it feels really good to build a solid structure and to have a really, and then like it's cool because like when you have your tower and it's getting taller, but then you kind of misplace one a little bit, and then so it gets up and where it's even wobbling, like your tower is like even just a little bit wobbling, so it's like you're trying to balance it and you're trying to get to that, you're trying to race to that line, and then it crumbles down, and then no, and then then your friend, like the other people are playing, and then you're going back and you win. It's cool. It's a fun idea, fun concept. So bizarre things in it, but that's okay.
Cool.
Yeah, tricky towers.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Oh no.
Well,
Casey's
keeping on
the horror
theme
again.
keeping on the theme of Halloween and scary things. I've been playing NBA Playgrounds 2. And let me tell you, right off the bat, I don't see why everyone was complaining. At least, I did not play the first Playgrounds, which from everything I'd heard from anyone who'd played it was sort of a nightmare. So, of course, I was pretty nervous going into Playgrounds 2 here. But I tell you what, I feel like... So, I jumped into the game, and after the longest, how some games they make you read the user agreement garbage or whatever, and they make you scroll through it and you accept it. The longest one, I could not believe how long this was.
Longer than Dark Souls?
Yeah, easily.
Oh my goodness.
I held down the down button, or the D-pad down, and I'm waiting. I'm like, man, is there any way to make this thing go faster? And then you finally get to the end, and then there's another one. It wasn't as long, but I was just like, my goodness, man, let me get into the game here. But so you
what
get
is it
into...
they're trying to get you to agree to?
I have no idea.
Playing a freaking game.
Yeah, I know. It's like, just let me play, dang it.
Yeah.
But you get into the game, and the first thing you do is you open up a couple packs of cards, and they give you a handful of, I think, 3, 4, 5, something like that. You open them up, blah, 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 blah. And you unlock some players, and I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And then I'm like, all right, let's just get into an exhibition game. Because, like I said, I've heard so many bad things about the first one. I was like, let's just see what this game plays all about.
Let's just get this over with.
But I tell you what, I get into the exhibition, and it's sort of strange because I only have 6 players from 3 teams unlocked to play as. And I'm like, okay, that's sort of weird. But, all right, it's 2-on-2 basketball, so I just picked 2, so I guess I have a few options, but whatever. Get in there, pick some players, and get out onto the court, and the game's actually pretty fun. You've got your... you could swipe at the player, there's no fouls. You could sort of, when you have the ball, you could throw elbows if there's guys next to you to sort of knock them off your block a little bit so you can get a better shot. It does have like a shot gauge. So when you post up for a shot, you hold the button down until it's into that sweet spot, the green, on the little bar. If you hit into the green, you're gonna have a better % chance to hit it. And then obviously, if you just tap it and you're in the red, you're not gonna have as good of a chance. And then there's all sorts of alley oops and crazy dunks you can do, and also crossovers, which. If anyone who's played basketball, a crossover, just sort of like a little ball juke. But of course, this game really ramps it up. Like you can do like cartwheels and all sorts of crazy crossovers to get away from the other players. But yeah, the game itself is actually pretty fun. You get in there and, it's not like 100% obviously like normal basketball. Like the first point, even if you get like a dunk, you get an extra point for being the first, score of the game. You get these, you fill up like your little meter, and I've had it where the other team, they filled their meter up, and then all of a sudden, the rim I was shooting on, iced over. So I need to hit a few shots to break away the ice before I can score. I got one where it was like, 3-pointers are going to be worth double points. Now I travel way faster for a short period of time, and just fun little wrinkles, or they almost felt like items, like little power-ups to give you a little advantage. And like I said, the gameplay itself is pretty fun, actually. I was getting in there. I've played a couple games. I played one game online. I linked up with someone pretty quickly, and it was running well. So I haven't put a ton of time into it online at all. But from at least the small sample size, it was running well. It connected to a game pretty quick. But where this game really sort of is a mess is how, I guess, unlocking players works. You get packs. Like I said, they give you a couple.
What is this? Why? I've heard
micro
really weird things about this.
transactions. So,
Weird.
so like I said, you start out. They give you a couple packs, and it's random. You just get whoever. Like I've got a mix of like a couple current players and then like a couple of all-time legends that are on my that I could pick from. And like I'm looking at the how you could buy packs, and you get like you get coins, and then you also get like, I guess, experience points. So you can buy packs with either one of those, and you sort of earn those as you go ahead. And it's actually funny. The experience points are like a little basketball, but it looks just like a Pepsi logo when it's small. So I do like that part of the game. But yeah, it's just like, okay, so I played some games, and I don't really have enough points for any packs yet. And like I'm looking at here, it's like swag packs. So that's from the coins. Okay. And like, is that going to unlock me? Let's see, unlocks players and mad treads. So that looks like it just is vanity items. So it's like it's going to cost you more points and to get the actual players. And they even have like for 5,000 coins, this pack unlocks all current and future free players. When the game is updated with those players, the items become available to you right away. Now, 5,000 coins, I don't know how long that's going to take you to get, but you could buy... Oh, no, look, let's see, VC. You could buy virtual coins, yeah. You could buy 7,500 for $10. Now, the game, I'm pretty sure, already costs $20. So it's like, to even just get the full rosters, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it just feels super cheap that it's like locking all of these.
That is so weird.
Now, I was talking to Justin Nation because I was like, let me get this straight. Like, this is how it works, right? And he's like, yeah, it's completely random. And it's like, obviously it's geared to like people getting frustrated and like spending some money to unlock more players. Cause it's not even like you could be like, well, I'm a Knicks fan. So like maybe I can click that as my preferred team, and maybe some Knicks players unlock a little bit quicker in the random rolls. You know what I mean? Like there's a little bit better chance. But no, it's all random. And like, it's so strange that, like, I could understand if it was maybe the base, like, the players who are on a roster today are unlocked. And through the coins, you can get historical player, Michael Jordan, like Magic Johnson. You can get these, players to add to your roster, which would be cool because it'd be like, all right, I've got enough players I could choose from. And then I have that option and that sort of thing to drive towards to unlock some, like, historically great players, Maybe they give you a better chance on the court. But to really, gate everyone behind these packs, it just seems, I don't know, it seems dirty.
It feels like a corporate, like, negotiation type thing where it's like, well, we could pitch the free-to-play where you just have to pay for things in general, and you may be more approachable to do this sort of unlocking if at least you got started free. But corporations are like, well, I may not get any money out of this. So $20 to buy in, and you still don't get anything. It's like the no man's land in between a full price game and a free to play thing. It's just kind of weird.
It's weird.
Like I said, it feels like
I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, I'm playing the games are actually pretty fun, and I could totally see like playing like I've been playing against computers and then like random people online. If you had a friend, local or even online, and you could like get into these games, like it totally has that. It doesn't feel like NBA Jam, but I feel like it could get to that level of competitiveness where it's like, this is fun. The games are pretty quick. You can get in there and play a set of 3 relatively quickly.
Sure.
But it just, I don't know. It just seems like TYP said, it's like it almost feels like it should be a free to play game. Hey, we give you these packs. And then, buy more, But to have, like, a relatively, high price tag for eShop, $20 is, I'd say, a premium eShop download cost. And then have it so much gated behind the packs on top of that. And it, you can earn these coins and the points to unlock them without downloading it. But it just seems like it's going to be a bit of a slog doing that, especially when, right off the bat, you really don't get that many at all.
Do the players have different stats? There's some like taller, shorter, faster, slower, or is it really just sort of aesthetic?
I think they do have different, because like I've seen, like there's players when you're doing it, it's like, oh, this person is a legend. So like their shots are definitely different. Their gauges. So I think some will be better like towards like, oh, he's a bigger person, like his dunking will be better, and his 3-point shot won't be as good. Yeah, I'm looking at, so you've got the dunk, the 3-point, 2-point, steal, block, speed, stamina, and rebound are all different stats. And so you're gonna have to, and they each have different ones. And then like I said, like I've got Steve Smith, by his name it's epic, and then I've got Mutombo, he doesn't have anything near there. And I'm pretty sure you can actually upgrade the players, but I haven't really gotten too deep into that. It said something about that on the load screen, so I'll have to double back next week on exactly how that works. But here you go. All players in the game start with bronze level, get their experience points to level up and increase their statistics. So, bronze, silver, gold, diamond. So you can upgrade the players as you go too. But, like I said, it's got like a single player mode, NBA season. So it's like, I don't know if that was a mode in the previous version, because I know the first one I'm pretty sure is pretty bare bones. But just like I said, frustrating because the game is pretty fun. Like when you're getting into the actual matches, I was like, man, what are people, this isn't that bad, but it's just how they lay out progression, I guess.
Gotcha.
Like you said, it's very much, all right, let's see how much money we can make.
I mean, but in theory, like, so you could play it though and unlock everything.
Yeah, but from what I gather, all of these packs are random, so you could potentially get doubles. You know what I mean? I would imagine I'd imagine how this game's laid out, like, they would probably be chances that you would get duplicate items or players. And
can't you do that in Rocket League? I mean, like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure you get duplicate.
Like, can't you even pay for? Like, you can pay to get or if you pay for an unlockable thing in Rocket League, can you get a double?
I know.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I know you have to buy the keys and you get duplicates in the chests anyway.
Right.
So it wouldn't surprise me.
Weird.
I mean, it's all sort of a gamble roll anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that this game was a letdown on a different level.
Yeah, like I said, like the actual gameplay is pretty fun. And if you really like 2-on-2 basketball and you don't mind like working, like slowly unlocking more characters, I mean, for me, I'm not a huge basketball fan, right? So it's like, I like the Knicks, but I don't really care that much, So like picking random players really, I guess, isn't that big of a deal. It's just more so like, oh, I've only got 6 to start out with, is sort of like, I wish they gave me at least like a couple more, but.
I could see that being really bad. If you get a random roll, you could have characters that are kind of redundant, not enough variety in your roster.
Yeah, have like 2 big men and then like not have anyone who could actually shoot the ball from deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it seemed, from what I gather, the gameplay has improved from last year, but I guess this money grab situation or feeling like a money grab, yeah. I mean, and like it's almost like
you can blame 2K for that.
It's like you can, for $10 more, right, give or take, you could buy those coins to unlock every character. Why not just charge $25 then and give us everyone,
Oh, is that really it? I mean, it's not that much.
Well, I mean, what I say was 5,000, and I think you could buy 7,500 coins for $10. So, but $30. I'm actually looking. It's a $30 game. So why not charge $35 or just make it $40 and have everything, or just include it in the $30?
Or just include it in the 20 and just release a nice product that everyone's happy with.
Well, I lied. It's $29.99. I thought it was $19.99.
Oh, is it?
Yep. Yeah, I'm
Wow,
looking
man.
at
It's $30.
That's
$30
and
and then all those microtransactions. So
Wow. Okay. That is so sick. Like, that's just kind of sickening to me.
yeah.
Like, anyway, but I'm glad the gameplay's better at least, but looks like
I would definitely say
really
it's a hard sell
2K'd
for
it.
that much of an entrance to, barrier of entrance, whatever. Can't think of the word right now.
Yeah.
And then, that on top of it. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's okay because TYP is going to talk to us about some NES games.
Yeah, I've been poking around in the NES Switch archives here, and there are actually quite a few games I never owned or never played a whole lot of. But I was gravitating to Zelda, which I know. I mean, I played that a lot, at least the first quest, and I kind of wanted to shake things up a little. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to try the Zelda swordless run, which I had heard mutterings of. People say they've done online, and
So it's possible to beat it without a sword?
well, you can't beat the game. You can get to Ganon. Which I didn't know until I
Okay.
got to Ganon. I'm like, is there any way to kill this guy? Oh, I guess not. Oh, okay.
gotta glitch it or something.
Not that I'm aware of, but I mean, I got through
that's
pretty much the
disappointing.
whole thing with. I'm not gonna say he didn't use a FAQ at all, but there's really more just to kind of orient me for the very beginning.
Yeah.
And what I did use a lot of though were the save states. So if you're doing this like legitimately, I could see it as really painful because I guess I'll take a step back. So without a sword, you kind of have to scrape your way to get along. So you got to get
Okay.
rupees, and since you can't kill any enemies, you got to go to the 100 rupee place that's on the top right that doesn't have any. You just walk like through a fake wall kind of a thing. And so from there, I mean, you can buy a blue candle and maybe some bombs, and from there, so the bombs are super, super important, right? They're basically the
Okay.
only thing you can use to kill a lot of characters. So it's just
Gotcha.
really interesting because I played this so many times as a kid, and I'm just very kind of stubborn. It's how I play like all RPGs too. Like I just don't use consumables. I'll just use the sword.
Yep,
I
same
won't
with
tend to use
me.
magic points. So it really forced me to play this game totally different. So
Oh, that's fun.
if you're someone who just uses the sword for most of the combat, it really does play differently. And the save states save your butt from what would otherwise be a pretty grueling experience. So you can save. You try to use bombs. If you really do a bad run with killing some enemies in a room with bombs, you can load your save state, and it's a fun way to play this mode. I mean, I didn't realize how
Absolutely.
powerful bombs were as weapons. I never used them as weapons. I only used the bomb
Yeah.
walls,
Mhm.
So the whole game feels very different that way. So I actually do encourage you to check it out if you've never done that before. There is a little bit of grinding, and you got to kind of spam the roll to get bombs because those are so precious. You want to kill and get an item drop of a bomb.
Oh, right.
But yeah, I mean, when you can save and kill an enemy, reload, you can, you learn how to make good use of bombs and wait till you got like 3 or 4 enemies that are on top of each other, and it plays very differently. But it's not bad. I can't imagine doing this without save states. I don't know if anyone actually. I'm sure someone has done that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some mad people out there.
But I would hope they'd at least practice
Probably
and learn how to play the
Japanese.
game using save states because you can definitely cause yourself to be dead in the water,
Right.
especially before you get something like the wand. Which I mean that was the coolest part is going in there and getting the wand because it's like getting the white sword. You got to really fight for it. So it's a lot of fun. I have not really done much in the second quest. It seems a lot harder to do than the first one this way, but not impossible. So yeah, I got all the way through to Ganon without a sword.
Wow.
With a lot
That's
of
awesome.
save states.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
So let me get it straight. So, father don't play video games too much anymore. But you decided that you're going to play through a game that you've played through many times with arbitrary rules.
Yeah. It's because I was able to. So here's the thing. I can't play anything that's too serious because I got to watch the kid when I'm watching the kid. And so usually I don't play anything at all. But this is the sort of thing where it's like I'm saving so frequently and I don't really care that much because it's not that new of an experience. It's pretty easy to set down whenever I need to.
Yeah, okay.
And it's it's snappy because of the save states and I already know it. So
it puts a nice new spin on a classic.
And it's but it's like a new spin, but like I mean, but also like familiar and kind of like comfort food. I mean, like just like it's kind of like nostalgic and and the original Zelda, guys, is awesome. What a fantastic game. It still holds up. I've beat that for the growing up, like my first Zelda is probably is Link to the Past, I'm sure. But, even that's aged so much better, obviously. But then, always going back, like I think probably playing it on like Animal Crossing, playing the original Zelda, and then, it just, you start it and it's hard and it's not as easy and, and anyway. But then I actually beat it on the 3DS Virtual Console for the first time like a few years ago. And it was like, okay, this is like a legit Zelda game, and it's really not that much different from a lot of, from like, the later Zelda games. And it's like, what I mean? Like it has that big open world and you have dungeons and you clear rooms and there's puzzles and it's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. Truly ahead of its time.
Playing it this way, I mean, I know there was a lot of hype of saying, Breath of the Wild is sort of more like the original Zelda. And I didn't really buy that hype. Playing it this way, I actually really do see the connections because Breath of the Wild, there were a lot of places where I just sort of ran away from the enemies and didn't try to, combat them because they didn't have good gear or whatever. And I was doing that a lot in this game. So I actually, I think they're very fair comparisons.
That's a really good point. Yeah. And I think that's what people... I mean, when I think about it, like the same way, it's like very organic and natural experiences where it doesn't feel like a video game and more like you're actually trying to survive. And so
immersive.
Yeah, it's immersive. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Great game. So, the original Zelda. It's a good game.
And so another game that I had not really played before was Gradius. And, I've played other side-scrolling shooters and stuff. I'm terrible at these games. But again, with save states, like, you know what? I kind of want to see what this game looks like. And so
you can actually see the end of it.
Just spam the freaking save states. I'm sorry. But there's some really cool stuff in this game. It's not very long if you're cheating the way I cheated.
Sure. He's a cheater.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have seen the game at all any other way, frankly. I don't know how you can beat the game without doing it all in one run because you get so much more powerful when you have all those upgrades that
I know.
And
that's the thing with shoot 'em ups.
It's so punishing.
As soon as you die, it's like
I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, because I played a bunch
this game does is it gives you the option of it gives you one notch when you die, so you can either choose to speed up your ship right away. Or you can save that to put it towards an upgrade, which I thought was kind of an interesting choice.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a tough game. There's cool stuff, very creative enemies and environmental stuff, although I don't know why they make you fight that same ship so many times. Other than that, it's pretty cool. It's got weird music. I mean, it's just sort of a wild ride. So it's cool. If you never really tried it before because of just banging your head against the difficulty
It's so hard,
curves.
yeah.
Again,
I played a bunch of Gradius 3 on Super Nintendo, and same thing where it's like it's so satisfying to get all of those upgrades and just being such a badass, and then one bad like string of events you're dead, and then they checkpoint you so close to like where the boss is or wherever you just were, and then it's like there's no time to get any power ups, and it's like.
Right.
It just went from being so fun and like getting through all these spots to being like, all right, now I need to just like pray to God I can make it through it.
Mm-hmm. I know, and that's what I think the difficulty, the weird dynamics of difficulty in shoot 'em ups is just it's so funny. It's like, to me, I think the shoot 'em up, the one I've played the most would be the one, the 3D classics, not Twin B, that starts with an X, and for some reason I am, why can't I think of the name? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? The
Well, I don't know, but I am enjoying listening to you struggle.
Yeah, thanks. Why can't I think of the name? I'm like, come on. It's on the Famicom, on the NES. It was remade for 3DS. It was the first 3D classics game. Starts with an X.
Yeah, I don't know.
I cannot believe.
Like
I'm sorry, but
Life Force.
I literally. I'm opening up my 3DS right now, and I'm going to figure this out because
he's stalling.
This is driving me insane. I forgot where the home button is on here. Okay, hold on. It's right here. It is.
It's not even going to start with an X.
New software is added.
Starts with a B.
It's Xevious.
Oh.
Why can't I think of that? My goodness. Yeah. Xevious. And it's like you get the best run of your life, and it's like, and then it's really fun, and then you get killed, and it's like, okay, well, I'm never gonna do that ever again, so I'm never gonna play this game ever again. I mean, it's just, and that's how I feel with these kind of games. So, anyway, yeah, they're cool games. I just wish that they weren't as hard. So yeah, with save states, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you bypass that.
Don't be ashamed to use them. And, if you really like it, then you can play through it without using them. But
the older I get and the more time is like a commodity, it's like, I don't, that's like Fire Emblem. I used to be like, you got to have permadeath every single time, casual mode. Now I'm like, give me that casual mode, please.
Well, the funny thing that Casey, remember when Fire Emblem Echoes? We talked about this on the podcast, and you played it on casual, right? And I got the game, and it literally, if you play it like regular hardcore, permadeath mode, it like is over twice the amount of time. It'll take twice the amount to finish it. And I didn't even think about like time wise. I was just thinking like skill wise, but literally time wise, it changes. That's crazy. So.
Is that including times that you restart the game because you don't want to lose a character, or are you just more careful?
Well, I think a little bit. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it all goes with it. It's like with the permadeath, it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to play this through again because I'll get the guy back. And so, boom, I've cut that game. So now I don't have to play it again. But it's just like when I'm thinking about picking the mode, I'm not thinking I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I'm thinking I want the challenge to be harder, But I realized, it's going to cut the time down a lot. So I still I love Fire Emblem and I love the permadeath. So I'll probably still play like that. But like that's such a good thing to keep in.
Yeah,
keep in mind.
I used to be the madman where it's like, I lost a character I barely even use on the second to last turn of this hour-long mission. Restart, Nah, I ain't got time for that now.
Yeah. I mean, we all know the balance of that. I mean, like it creates this importance of the characters.
I totally get it.
I totally get it. Yeah, and I
my
totally
time
get,
is more important than those virtual characters. I'm sorry. Yeah.
How dare you?
I said it.
Just kidding. Well, Casey, I think we need to talk about one more game.
Do we? Yes, we do.
I believe so. We do. It's a game that we mentioned last week, but we didn't have time to talk about. Well, I hadn't had a chance to play it yet, but I have had a chance to play it now, and this is a game that has come out on the DSi and on the 3DS, and I believe we both played it on the 3DS, right?
Yep, that's where I played it.
That's right. And that is Digger Dan DX. What a random game. Like, I'm just thinking, like, random if you don't know the podcast. A random 3DS game, eShop game to talk about, right? Well, friend of the show, Mick Waits, this is his baby. This is his game that he released on the DSiWare and 3DS eShop. And I was just one of those games where, we're big fans of Kid Trip and Miles and Kilo, which he didn't create those. He just ported those over to the 3DS and the Switch. But he did create Digger Dan, so it's like we had to go back and play it, right?
Dust off that 3DS.
Oh, man. And 3DS, man. The 3D is amazing. I miss the 3D. I love the 3D. TIP, are you a 3D fan?
I was initially, and at some point it just, I kind of gave up on it, and I just leave it on 2D now.
That is so interesting to me. Now, yeah, that's because I look at all like 2D gameplay of any 3DS game, and it looks so ugly to me. Like it just flattens it out, and it just looks like you've downgraded, because it just comes a lot like there's like more pixels and stuff. It just looks nicer. I don't know, in 3D, but yeah, a lot of people don't care about the 3D, which is just I guess
not
that's why
here
the 3DS
on the Talk
exists.
Nintendo podcast.
Yeah, not here. We love
All right,
our
bye,
3D.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a really good use of 3D on Digger Dan. So
it's beautiful.
I don't know, Casey, why don't you explain what the game is?
Well, yeah, so essentially you need to get to the exit, right? And you're sort of collecting some jewels as you go along. And
Yep, you gotta collect all the jewels.
And there's even a hidden jewel, which, from what I gather, is completely random, right? There's no hint.
Well,
or
there's no hint to it, but sometimes you can
run along your path.
You can see, like, I bet it's right there. Like, that happened to me a lot.
Yeah, no, there's a couple times where, it's like you can have an inkling where it might be. But then there's some, like, the one level, I was just like, all right, I'm just going to try and chop all these and hope for the best. But essentially, there is a time limit, too. So it's like you can't just sort of take your sweet time. You got to, put a little pep in your step to get through. And
if you want a gold star.
Yeah. You could still complete it after it gets down to 0?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like a end game. But yeah.
Well, you know what? I mean, I haven't made it out of. Did you do the training levels?
Yeah, that's what I was running through.
Okay, yeah. Because I was gonna say I could see how maybe if you
eventually down the line, it could get a little more punishing. But
as you can see, this game has tons of content.
Yeah, there's a ton of
oh my goodness
levels in just the training.
Like the training takes hours probably, or like an hour at least to finish it. I think,
depending how good you are. But essentially, you're sort of digging through, and if you I guess it's essentially like a big grid. So there's just like boxes, and if you hit the dirt underneath like a rock ahead of you, it's going to fall down and sort of kill you, So you need to keep an eye out for objects, and then they start to play with that, where you have like boulders, I guess is what you call them, and they can roll down, and if you break a path, that boulder's going to fall down, and it can unlock a way to a new area, or it can actually block the path to an area you need to get to, in which case you'd have to restart the puzzle. So, they start, introducing some new elements that you sort of have to play around with. And, it's easy to, if you do make a mistake, to sort of just restart and get right back into it. So, but yeah, it's like when I first started playing, I was like, okay, like cool. But it seems like this game's going to be easy, And then all of a sudden, like, 2 puzzles later, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, like, I could see now where they're going to ramp
brutally
things
difficult.
Up. Yeah.
Because, like, it's kind of a thing where you want to assess the situation because you don't want to make the wrong move and kill yourself.
It's never a good thing.
Just like in every situation of my life, And so... yeah, like, and I find that like the way that the boulders travel, like you got to learn the physics of everything, right? Because it'll be sitting there, and you'd assume, okay, if I take out the dirt or if I collect the gem underneath it, it will fall, and then you don't want it to smash you. You have a little time to get out of its way. But if you take out the dirt to the right of it, it will fall down that way too. So it's like, I don't know if that happened to you, Casey, but where you didn't expect the boulder to fall. I out of the side, and it just catches you by surprise, and boom, and then yeah. So you just gotta. So it's fun. Yeah, ooh, I'm flat. So you gotta learn the way the physics work, and then it's really cool because like there's also like gold you can pick up in that's hidden. You know, and sometimes you have to like sometimes they'll entice you to go get the gold, but you can't get to it. Or like for instance, if you make a straight movement towards a gem, you will accidentally make a boulder fall that will block you from getting the bonus gold. The gold you don't have to get for the level. So it just adds another like level of
challenge.
You know, you gotta challenge being aware of your surroundings and stuff. And then like I got through one of the training levels, and because like once you find the secret gem, you know, you'll just be passing through random dirt, and then it'll form behind you. Like it takes like a second, right, for it to show up. Like you don't just collect it when you go through. You got to go back and collect it. Well,
do the old double back.
Yep, exactly. I got to the end of a level where you're going. So it's like you unlock it. You unlock the door at the very end. Like you have to collect all the gems before the door opens, and so you're running towards that door to try to get into the time. So you're running down this tunnel, and then right before you hit the door, you see that, oh, you just passed the secret gem behind you, and you don't have enough like reflex to stop and get the gem, and you just go through the door.
It's
and
all over, but the crying.
Without getting,
clearly intentional. That's a.
Oh yeah. It was perfect. It's like, oh, duh.
But the good thing is the levels, at least in the areas that I've played, are quick enough that it wouldn't be a problem to like go redo it. You know, it wouldn't be like, this puzzle took me 10 minutes to complete, and then I sort of got
no.
Like
these
these
are
on
like
the last
around
second.
like a minute long. I'm guessing, not
Yeah, they're brisk, and like you said, that's why it's nice if you die that it's like you get right back into it, and you feel like you could still get back up to that point and sort of correct the issue, or the problem that you did pretty quickly. So, and per dollar, you're gonna get a ton of content.
Oh my
goodness.
I think I believe the game's $2.
Yeah, I think it's either $1.99 or $2.99. And there's just a ton of levels. So, and it's a fun little puzzle game. So, if that interests you,
no, it is. It's great. And like, if you're a 3DS, you're still avid 3DS player, or you have your 3DS and you're on a budget, and you want a good game to sink your teeth into. That's a great game, especially if you want 100% it and stuff. So, and it's like I said, the 3D is great, and the characters are adorable, and it's a great little game.
Boom.
So, Digger Dan DX. So, that brings us to... What does that bring us to? Where are we?
We are right up against the old eShop Roundup, but the question is, do we want to take a quick little breather before we get into that? Or
let's do it.
All right.
And we're back with the one and only eShop Roundup.
The eShop Roundup. eHaw.
And TYP's here, of course. And I remember him on our last eShop Roundup when he was back, and it was so much fun because I don't know why. Just having TYP here is just fun.
Why not?
Sure. Yeah, why not?
I'm loads of fun. Fun.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone knows that, but we're gonna be brisk in our roundup, like we do these days. We have
when
21
there's that
games
many
here.
games, you have to be brisk.
That's right.
Oh
so
my
what's our first game?
1 week.
Case? Yeah.
Well, starting us off here, we have the Jackbox Party Pack number 5. It's coming in at $29.99, but it is a 17% off for $24.89. More Jackbox goodness. I mean, more Jackbox. I think this one introduces some new games. It's got like of course you don't know Jack, but it brings back some other games and adds in some new ones as these packs usually do.
Yep, these are good games.
Good party
games. Steep price, but I mean, if you got a good party game, group of people, these are great. Like these are really awesome, and they're so cool how they use your phones and stuff. Very practical and fun.
Yeah, I think, $30 for a night or two, even if it's just one night, but you have, a group of 6-8 people over, it probably, better than going to the bar and spending a bajillion dollars.
Right. But I bet what you're thinking is I would love a puzzle game where I could beat a wicked winter queen.
Well, I have been interested in such a game.
Yeah, well, I know TIP was just like literally saying that like a few minutes before we started recording. He wanted a game just like that. And we
with the HD in the title, what could go wrong?
Yeah, exactly. So here we have Season Match HD. Yep. Or if you live in Australia,
then when you get into
HD.
That's terrible. But then when you open it up, the HD is not actually in the title.
I know, that's weird. That's weird.
Oh.
So is it HD or not? That's what we need to know.
See, it looks. I think it looks HD. Sure. Anyway,
it's
this is
technically high definition, but the art assets are pretty crummy looking, in my opinion.
Yeah, very, very iOS looking puzzle board game strategy lifestyle game. I love my lifestyle
the
games.
lifestyle games are usually pretty good.
Don't tell me how to live my life. Now, next up, what do we got, TYP?
Siberia 3.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever played these games at all?
I have not.
Yeah.
What are they? Adventure games. $49.99. Fully priced game, just about.
Yeah, but
it looks pretty cool, though.
I remember the Siberia 1 and 2 have released, and I believe that those were like PS2 games. But this one looks like, the graphics look way nicer. Like, definitely PS3, PS4 even. It looks great.
Yeah, really impressive.
So, yeah, I don't know if we have a review going up on this. We have reviewed the other two.
Yeah,
on
I just
the site.
I can't get into those adventure games, man.
Yeah, I know.
I wish I
does
could.
look really cool, though.
It looks cool, but
it does look cool. But I know what you could get into because it's it's Halloween time and you want to be spooked out when you're playing solitaire, right?
Yep. Well, the only way to do that is to play Spider Solitaire Black for the Jimmy price of $5 even. This is a classic Spider Solitaire in cool and chic design with 300 stages. Yeah.
Next.
Well, what do
next
we have?
What do we have? TYP.
Spencer. It's currently a classic jump and run parenthetical platformer. Oh boy, it must be right up my alley.
Oh man, look, it's colorful.
It sure is.
Are you a block of cheese?
Maybe.
For a second, I thought you were just gonna. I thought you were just gonna say Spencer.
Moving along.
Next. Next, we have actually an arcade archive, Ninja Kid 2, which I have the first Ninja Kid. Now this one looks way better, like way better.
I like that.
Like in every way. This looks like a platformer game. The other one is kind of like just like a level based. You walk in, but this one looks like you're actually traveling through screens. Maybe, I don't know. That game
having
looks sweet,
brought
though.
peace to the demon castle, Ninja Kid's off to a new adventure.
That's cool. It looks a lot different from the first one, like a lot more expanded. So, anyway.
Next up here, we've got a really weird game, Blackbird for $19.99.
Yes.
Neil actually wrote the review for the site. Now, this is like a weird shoot 'em up, but like bananas game. It's got like opera singing for the music, but it's in a made-up language. Apparently, it's pretty difficult as well. I definitely recommend going to check out Neil's review on NWR TV. But this is a game I'm interested in because it just looks weird, and I love those weird games.
I will totally begin. It's $20, pretty steep because I heard it's not too long either. But man, like I saw the first 5 seconds of gameplay, and I was like, yep, I will be playing this game someday. This game looks really just bizarre and in a good way, But
looks like it features Mr. Saturn.
Yeah, I know, isn't that funny? And those little guys from Super Mario World, the little white guys that run and bite you.
Nippers?
Oh, little like clam people.
Sure. Yeah, the clammy nippers.
Yeah, those old nips.
Yep. Next up, we have Personality and Psychology Premium
I'm
Next.
downloaded this
$8.99.
one right now.
Yeah, I don't. What is this? It's an app that helps in getting you the analysis of your personality psychology score. Series of tests.
I don't
Okay.
pay to play tests.
Yeah. I want to pay $8.99 to play some tests.
Yeah. No thanks.
Anyway,
The English in this description is questionable at best.
yeah.
So you're saying you wouldn't trust their test results?
Yes.
All right. Well, what do we have up? 2IP.
Zarvot. A
Zarvot.
game about cubes?
It's a game about cubes. 1999. From Snow Hydra Games.
Where cubes
Squares
find
only.
love, shoot lasers, and lay waste. All right.
Yep. It looks
pretty.
nice.
Yeah, it looks
It
sort
does
of cool.
look pretty. I know that there's something in the indie scene about characters that are just cubes.
They're easy to design.
I'm not a big fan. I don't know. I mean, it's getting to the point where
Do you
enough is enough,
differentiate between
everyone.
cubes and blocks?
I do. I'm very much a
You're a
cube
block man? Oh,
I'm
no,
a cube
you're,
man.
you like cubes. All right.
Yeah. Don't even get me started on squares. Anyway, next up, Momonga Pinball Adventures. Pinball Adventures. Hey, this looks like a pretty cute game. It's kind of like the Mario Pinball Land. Kind of.
Very colorful.
Yeah, colorful. Yeah. There's pandas.
$5.99,
glasses.
where you bounce through different
$5.99.
worlds.
Looks like maybe a Pinball Quest style game.
Yeah, it actually
Yeah,
looks
cool.
pretty cool.
It does look cool.
Then we've got Passport Out, The Starving Artist.
Passport out.
Oh,
I don't know.
Passport
That's
Out?
part two.
Passport maybe? Oh, that's probably it because it's French.
Passepartout, The Starving Artist. Yeah, I was like, why did they put Passport Out in the same
I
word?
believe
And I didn't even read it
Don
right.
Koopman reviewed this, and I think he liked it, and it was really just kind of weird. And you draw pictures and stuff, and it uses them in weird ways. I don't know. It looks pretty.
It definitely looks
Interesting.
out there, but
Yeah,
it could be cool.
but look, paint and
So,
and sell
is there
your
a starting
own art.
aspect to this? Like they say starving art, so like you have to like
Look,
scrap together
paint
enough
and sell
money
your
to
own
pay
art
for your
to
food?
survive your expensive wine and baguette addiction.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
go.
You need to scrape together some pennies for that baguette. That first baguette.
Amazing. But next up we have, it's a week, Case. Don't worry. Neo Geo's back with Strikers 1945 plus for, of course, $7.99. And this is a shoot 'em up, and it looks amazing. And looks like it
Relive
was
that
based
ultra
in
difficult
1945.
psycho shoot 'em up experience.
You know, I can't tell if these are actual like pictures of the war from 1945 or if they're like screenshots, but very, very cool and realistic.
Gotta love those Neo Geo shoot 'em ups.
Yeah, me too. Especially the robot bat
Variety.
ship. Anyway, 2IP, what's next?
Will Wonderful World. I
Will.
guess it's like
Wonderful
a
world.
Well, at least we didn't get a pass. I feel like the last
It's a-
couple
yeah.
of TYPs
What is
got a
this?
It's a
pass.
narrative game with a twist. Little Lamb Billy,
Some more adventure games.
the cargo shorts and the beach shirt.
The Switch gets a lot of
What
adventure
is
games.
this? It's your rank. I
don't
don't know what
understand.
this is.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness, I don't know what this is, everyone. It's Japanese, I believe.
Moving along,
Okay,
though, we've
moving
got
along.
The Room, $9.99 down to $8.99 on sale. Fall
From
into
Team
the world
17.
of the bizarre contraptions and what is all this jazz? Another puzzle game, another strategy game here.
I've heard really like everyone loves this game. So, just for what that's worth, apparently
The
this is like a really
screenshots do look
famous
cool.
mobile game. And but people really like this. so-
Translates well, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's as good on the Switch as it is on mobile. I don't know. But
I'm
you know,
sure
it's
there's
like
a
Team
review
17
somewhere
published it,
telling
so-
us where it runs.
I'm sure there is. I bet it could be located possibly at NintendoWorldReport.com,
But we don't know that for sure.
but we really don't know that for sure. Now, what do we have next?
We've got Sinner, Sacrifice for Redemption for $18.99. Now, this is, I've actually heard about this game, but I don't know. I feel like it's got pretty good reception. It looks cool, but I feel like these look like more promotional, not
I can't tell if
screenshots.
this is, maybe that is in game. That's the. The game is like 12 gigabytes, so it's possible.
I mean, that would
I could look
be
at the trailer.
really cool. Yeah, I'm
This
pulling
game
up.
looks sweet.
I'm pulling up a quick video right here to see if maybe it looks like that.
And if it does, it's minimalistic UI for sure.
Oh, actually, I think
Right.
maybe David might have reviewed this for the site, and if he did, let me double check. Because I don't
double-check
think
real
he
quick.
did like it. Because I think
Right.
I think this was.
FMV.
It's trying to be like
this the one,
Dark
Dark Souls?
Yeah, I think this one's trying to be similar to Dark Souls in that it's super difficult.
Man,
But I mean, no, I'm looking at the video.
Gameplay looks
Definitely
sweet.
a very small hub. But I don't like these are definitely promotional pieces of art. But it does look pretty cool. But yeah, I think he said.
yeah, it does.
I think he did not love it. But you
Yeah.
can check out his review for more information. But I believe it's trying to be Dark Souls-esque.
Man, it looks really cool. Really cool enemies. I love it. That's Sinner, Sacrifice for Redemption. Now, next up we have Burn Some... Oh, no. Drift
Yeah, I fell for
Legends.
that too.
Yeah.
Burn Some Rubber for $4.99. It features realistic physics, stunning 3D graphics, 40-plus highly detailed drift cars, 10 original tracks to drift on, and a career mode.
Boom.
Just to clarify, the game's called Drift Legends. Well, you
Uh-huh.
couldn't tell that from the image they got
The
on
screen, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like the racing genre, as far as like going for a more realistic approach on the Switch, is not really represented. And for $4.99, I mean, it's a low entry here.
$4.99.
But yeah, I don't know. Looks
Yep.
all right. They don't really show
Sure,
you
why
too
not?
much gameplay. It's just screenshots of cars and stuff. But
But
anyway.
you know what? There isn't a lack of platforming games where the main characters are tied together. Actually, I know of a few, but this next one is
Literally.
adding to the pile, and it's called Tied Together, and it is $14.99.
But what's cool about this one, it looks like you can tie up to 4 people together.
2 to 4 players. That's very interesting. Has like a cartoony
Yeah, no, it looks
art
cool.
style.
I bet you,
Yeah.
you know, if you had 4 people playing co-op couch play with this, it'd probably
Yeah.
be amazing, but also extremely frustrating.
Yep.
Remember when we
Hey,
played?
look, another Sonic game. Sonic
Fugs
Chaotix. I'm sorry, go on.
Well, you know, I really hate running backwards. Like, I don't.
Well, that's weird. It's
Yeah.
very rewarding.
Oh my goodness. Weirdly enough, the next name is I Hate Running Backwards for $14.99, 15% off, $12.74. It's a shoot 'em up, shoot 'em down.
What the hell is a shoot 'em
roguelite.
down?
I was trying to think. Yeah, like shoot him down. Is it because you're always like? I don't know. I was trying to think like you're always looking down, but that doesn't make any sense.
Wait. Does this feature the bullet from Enter the Gungeon? Do you see that? Or is that just another bullet character?
I
with
don't
a
know.
cape?
It looks a lot. I mean, I guess bullets look like bullets, but he does
Yeah.
have a sword too, which is sort of weird.
Oh no, it says it. It says Arsenal battle like Serious Sam the Bullet from Enter the Gungeon.
Oh, Serious Sam too.
And Rambro from Broforce and Richard from Hotline Miami. That's
That's
cool.
pretty cool. Yeah,
I'm getting it.
yeah. No, that's crossovers are always cool.
That is cool.
It says
Next-
it's a roguelite, though. So
Yeah.
Mm.
I like roguelites.
You sure do. You wouldn't shut up about one for like 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
But moving along here, we've got Pizza Titan Ultra for $11.99, and this game I've heard a bunch of good things about. Again,
Yeah,
David wrote the review, and I know
Yeah, they're.
he put
We have a bunch
comparisons.
of coverage on the site too.
He put comparisons to Blast Core in here, and it's a game that doesn't take itself too seriously, so it's just fun to sort of get in and get out. I'm definitely interested in checking this one out.
And I believe, I mean, you're a big, huge robot mech that delivers pizza. So.
What? Yeah. What isn't there to
Pizza
like?
Titan. Yeah. Yeah. It looks great, and I think I love the concept of I think adding Blast Core, Transformers, and Crazy Taxi.
Into
hopefully.
one. Yeah. Just like
Yeah.
mash them up.
That's $11.99, and we do have an interview with them on the site as well.
Boom.
We're down to our last 2 games. TYP, what's their second to last game?
Legend of Evil, a very generic sounding title from Spring Loaded.
Legend of Evil.
Fight the forces of evil in this ultimate battle of tower offense. Oh, okay, next game.
Hey, dude, this looks like Kingdom, but in a different. This is weird.
Yeah, it sort of does look like it has that vibe. Wave.
I don't know. I'm totally digging the art style. It's cute, but the wave approaching, and it's like side scrolling.
Which just makes you go why'd you land on the Legend of Evil? It's just painstakingly generic.
The Legend of Evil. Come on. Anyway, the game does look pretty cool, and it's 12% off for $6.99. Now, the last game, which I've played 10 minutes of before we recorded the podcast, and that is Dark Souls Remastered. The Dark Souls of games.
Yeah.
For $39.99.
It started what started it all. Yeah, I've played a little bit this weekend, and I'm enjoying it. It is definitely punishing, but so far in a satisfying type of way. I've gotten frustrated once or twice, but generally that's when I die, and then I'm like, all right, I can get back to that spot real quick, and then I try and blow through those enemies, I can get through them, screw it, and then I die, and I'm like, oh, I just lost a bunch of this but it all ultimately falls back to me being an idiot. So
a Jimbot. Now, Casey, real quick, if you were to give, if you were to compare, this game to anything else you've played, could you compare it to anything else?
I mean, I played Bloodborne, but that's they're from the same people, so it's not really a great.
Gotcha.
I mean, I guess it's a great comparison, but as far as I'm trying to think. I'm sure there are. I mean, it's sort of like a roguelike in a sense, because I feel like it's a lot of going, getting killed, going back, getting killed, slowly learning, because when you first start an area, it seems very daunting. I can't, this seems too challenging to get past. And then you sort of pick up on the little, nuances of oh, okay, to defeat this enemy, right, you sort of have to do it this way. And you just slowly start to piece together, and then you push on. So it sort of feels like a roguelike in that sense, where it's you're getting to a part, dying, and then just slowly progressing. Obviously it's not, because you're improving your character and everything too, but I mean, I can't think of one particular game.
So it kind of has that feeling though of a roguelike.
Yeah,
gotcha. Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to get more into it. So
you ever get into Dark Souls, TYP?
Never, ever, ever.
No interest?
Never, ever, ever.
Never.
Alrighty. Next.
Well, you're the one that's doing the no sword run in Zelda.
That was very quick.
All right, fine then. Well, it's our favorite time of the eShop Roundup week, where we find our pick of the week, our game, our is that what we call it? Pick of the, what do we call it?
eShop
Game
pick
of the
week, game of the week,
Yep.
something like that. Something of the week.
Boom. I'm gonna go first because I don't want anyone to steal
You're
mine.
gonna steal our games here. Well, why don't you let TYP go first?
Well, hold on. I've already closed the eShop. You guys are jerks.
All right.
Okay,
Perry,
I'll
you
give
go
you some
first.
time. Yeah, because we're jerks apparently. I'm gonna pick The Legend of Evil. This game looks cool. I mean, it looks great. I mean, I do love Kingdom. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
All right. For me, I mean, it's a tough pick between two games. It's between Blackbird and Pizza Titan Ultra. But you know what? I'm gonna go Pizza Titan Ultra just because that game, it just looks like dumb fun.
Yes.
Like I want to get in there, smash some stuff up, and just sort of have a good old time while delivering some pizzas.
Totally. All right, I'm gonna go with Mamanga Pinball Adventures just because although I'm not a huge pinball fan, I do have a soft spot for the action or RPG-ish pinball games, and this one might be fun.
Yeah, and
it looks
has
pretty cool.
Flying donuts and pizza with a panda, or I think it's a panda. It looks like a panda.
That might be a boss fight.
Flying squirrel. Yeah, it does. It looks great. I agree. This looks fantastic. So, yeah,
and $5.99, nice little price too.
Yeah, yeah. All these games pretty cheap. So, cool. Well, that'll do it for our eShop Roundup, which means that we're gonna go into our topic of the show. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And
all right, so we're gonna no news this week.
Yeah, no
right?
news. Another light week, and this podcast here is already running long, so we're gonna get right into some good old fashioned listener mail.
Listener mail.
That's right.
And this first email, it's from Holden, faithful listener. He's emailed in before. It's a very long email, so I'm going to sort of edit it on the chunks and bits here. There is a question he asks us, and then he sort of answers it for himself. So he asks, what is your personal favorite generation of Nintendo? You can also, if you feel so inclined, select as your favorite a particular time, even one that straddles 2 generations, or even cite the high point of a certain genre or creator if it suits you well. And he goes on, he says it was prompted, this question was prompted 2 weeks ago when he borrowed his brother's Wii U, and he took his Wii U and Wii games out of storage. He ended up, diving back into Skyward Sword for the 5th time, which is pretty impressive. But also playing Star Fox Zero, WarioWare, and pretty much he says prior to the Wii U, he was in high school, and gaming wasn't all that much of a thing to him. He owned a Wii for Smash Bros. and Zelda, the staple Zeldas and stuff. But pretty much he was able to. It boiled down to, if you want to understand his position, all you need to do is imagine not playing any of Nintendo's franchises, and then at the age when you can appreciate them the most, playing them all in a 3.5-year time span. All with the Marios, the Zeldas, the Fire Emblems, the Donkey Kong Countries, the Metroids, So while he said, Wii U obviously didn't have the third-party support, it had that still all those great offerings of the for the Wii U and the 3DS, sort of how the, coupled in that generation. So, of course, we always love hearing in from everyone and what they're talking about. But yeah, the Wii U, I mean, I know it is not generally, I guess, remembered or looked upon, and I'm sure it's also because not a lot of time has passed. Maybe a couple generations down the road, people look back on it more fondly. But yeah, the Wii U, I mean, I loved it too, but I figure we can open it up since I've been talking now for a second here. What your guys'
what's
favorite
the official
generation?
question? I mean,
what
what's
is
our
your
favorite
personal generation?
What's your favorite time era or generation for Nintendo gaming, I think is the question. So for me, it's got to be the Super Nintendo era, and I'm actually going to lump late NES into that. I grew up time where I didn't really play games contemporaneously when they were first released, for the most part. When I was in the NES area, I think I was tending to play games a little bit later. The Super Nintendo, I started to get things a little bit more concurrently, and there was also games like Kirby's Adventure coming out late in NES that were a lot of fun. I think like Star Tropics as well. So it's just a lot of fun. I remember having a lot of fun playing the Donkey Kong Country series, which I think the email mentions as well. And there was a period of time in my life where I could really 100% or 102% a game in case of Donkey Kong Country games, right? So just, I don't know, it was that right time in my life. And so, that's why it kind of has something dear in my heart. And that's actually with not having played Link to the Past when it first came out, or Super Metroid. I didn't play either of those games on the Super Nintendo, so go figure. It's still one of my favorites. Mario World's great, and there's just a whole bunch of great games on that system.
Oh yeah. Thinking back, I think my favorite would probably be the GameCube. I mean, I know that just kind of where I was, that's, like probably early junior high, I think that's when that, but having the GameCube and all the game, I feel like that's like kind of like the most hardcore Nintendo system, just because all the stuff that like I just think like F-Zero GX, Sunshine, Wind Waker, like Wario World, like 1080 Avalanche, just so many there's so many like every like a Nintendo epic
The staples, baby.
Yeah, like everything is represented on there. I mean, Melee and Pikmin, started on there, and I just think that like, and then Wind Waker really is I think it probably is still my favorite Zelda of all time, and like the memories of of playing that, and probably the most fond for me because and like just I don't know, the era was just. It's just a magical time with saving up money and buying Beautiful Joe 2. And
oh no!
oh man, I love Beautiful Joe so much, and that was so much fun. And I just remember just Splinter Cell, buying Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. Man, I just thinking back, like there's so many awesome games for the GameCube. There's so many awesome games. I just
no, that's a great pick.
Yeah, I don't know, like Metroid Prime. Oh my goodness, Metroid Prime is amazing, like and crazy. So I just feel like there's just so many. Like it was kind of like at the end. I mean, because when you got to the Wii, it was like, okay, now let's do retro throwbacks, which was cool. But like it was kind of like the GameCube was still, we need to be pushing the medium forward and doing crazy things, and end up with Resident Evil 4 and Metroid Prime, and then of course it still continued, but I feel like just Animal Crossing, having all those NES games and Animal Crossing and having that whole community feel and stuff. I don't know. So yeah. GameCube's my favorite.
Yeah, for me, it's tough because like I can look at pretty much every generation and like really think of how it's like affected me moving on. Like Super Nintendo was, it was the first system I really consciously remember playing. Like I said, Link to the Past, my brother got it for one of his birthdays, and I remember just playing the crap out of it. And that's why it's like one of my favorite games of all time. I could think to N64 was amazing because that was a time in my life where, my immediate next door neighbor, they were two kids our age, so we always had four people playing multiplayer games and Gauntlet Legends, but for me, I think my favorite would be, it's that GameCube / DS era. I guess DS was sort of the latter half of that, but it was that sweet point where it was like I finally had income. I started caddying, and the best thing about caddying was you would get straight cash. So it was like, oh baby, like what games am I gonna go buy? And it's like I remember, in the beginning, like for Christmas, I wanted like Pikmin. Like when I saw I was like, I need this game,
I need Pikmin.
It was like, seriously,
Exactly.
I had dreams about it. And, my mom, like she always did, convinced me there was no way in heck I was getting a GameCube. And so I remember having dreams of like, well, all right, I'll get a Game Boy Advance. And then like dreams of playing Pikmin on the Game Boy Advance, only to wake up and be like, no! So, naturally that Christmas, I got the GameCube, we got Pikmin. It was like life-changing, and then to be able to finally get to that part where I could start affording games, obviously then all of a sudden you go from, on holidays I get like a couple games, and my mom was always great with games, so like I was never lacking, but like to be able to get those experimental games that like, I'm not going to waste one of my few games I can get for Christmas on this game, because I don't know about it, but getting to that point where, I could buy Field of Magic for the DS because I've got income, and
that was a bad purchase, sorry.
Or like Yoshi's Touch
Why
and
did
Go.
Did you really buy that Field of Magic?
Oh yeah, man.
I did.
I did too. Dude, I bought.
So what
like,
about that
there
appealed
weren't
to
that
you?
many
I'm just
games
wondering.
at launch.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah, I
I
know.
bought like everything on the DS when it first came out.
Yeah. Super Mario 64 DS.
Yeah, I bought that, and that was the first time I played Mario 64.
What a crazy...
Well, actually, 3.
That is such an ambitious game. Super Mario 64 DS. Think about, you know what? Adding like
no
Luigi
analog
and
stick.
Yoshi and Wario. No analog stick.
Yeah, it was a
Crazy,
bizarro.
right? So bizarre, but like thinking
remake.
back, like
You know what,
like
though?
that game would still be huge if they released a Super Mario 64 3DS. Like that
Or
would
an
be
HD.
huge. You know?
Imagine they made just an HD version of that.
Yeah.
But
They
yeah,
should.
Yeah.
I mean, I could think of so many, you know, like Wii. I remember getting the
man.
Wii, you know, obviously Wii U 2 and stuff. But yeah, I think it was just finally getting to that threshold in my life where I could
Dude.
afford to buy things for myself, and then being able to
Yes.
just go buck wild. It's funny you mentioned like F-Zero. I got that for my birthday, and I had a birthday
What a
party
great
that
game,
year,
man.
and I actually like. I was chasing my friend with a piece of cake, and the door closed right as I pushed it, and I like cut my wrist wide open. It was horrible, actually. But I remember
Chasing your friend with a
well
piece
because
of cake.
I got intel he was gonna hit me with a piece of cake, so I'm like, no, I'm gonna get. I was like Vinny Cannoli. I'm like, I'm gonna get him first, you know. And yeah, I went right through the glass door, and it just shattered. Oh, it was horrible. But I remember coming home
man.
and be like, well, at least I've got F-Zero to play, baby. Let's go.
Dude, yeah, that's amazing. And like, I mean, like, you know, that era, that late GameCube era, DS, like fat DS era. Remember, like when the original DSs came with the Metroid Prime demo,
I still got it. Yeah.
and it was like
In the sleeve?
and it was like, I remember my cousin like going over to my aunt's house. And my cousin brought that, and I was like, oh, that's Metroid Prime, but it's like on a portable system, and it looks so awesome.
Oh, I remember
And
playing.
it's really
Prime.
too bad that game didn't play like Metroid Prime. Because that would have been amazing.
Metroid Prime, man. I remember playing that on a snowy day while watching the jet game and bouncing between 2 different rooms at the same time. Oh.
Oh,
So funny, like the random little moments that like stick with you. You know, like I couldn't
totally.
tell you the majority of like things that happened in Metroid Prime, but I could tell you like I remember running up and like listening to that music and watching the jets. Good times.
yeah,
good
isn't that
times.
funny?
But yeah, moving along here because again, pressed for time. We got one last question. Why don't you field this one, Perry? And it's a couple of questions, so we can sort of, I guess, answer them as we go.
Yeah, this comes from the great dingo himself, Jonathan Barlow, from Down Under. He says, "Mighty podcast hosts, I scream, lend me your opinions." Number 1, looking at the roster of Mario Party and Mario Aces, seeing Spike and Monty Mole, etc. My question to you friends is, if you had to take a supporting Mario character and build a game around them, who and what would it be? No Birdo, especially if you're a perv.
Oh boy.
So are we
Yeah.
workshopping this, or we each give our own answer?
Ooh, we could workshop. It could be fun.
We could, well, yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Okay, so, I mean, immediately, I just think a Goomba game would be really, really funny. Especially if it's just called Goomba Game. But, what were you thinking? What jumped out?
Well, because you brought up Birdo, I was really going with other Mario 2 characters.
I think I see where you're going here.
Well, there are a couple of candidates here. So I was thinking you could go with Albatos and or Pidgeot, which are both flying characters. Albatos drops the bombs, and Pidgeot has the carpet ride. So I figure you could do like a side-scrolling shooter with those.
Okay.
Or even like a Star Fox-esque rail shooter.
Okay. Wow.
Alternatively, you go with Shy Guy, which is a pretty well-established character.
Oh, yeah.
I do love a
appeared
good
there.
Shy
That's what I was
Guy.
thinking.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it is one of my. Well, it is my favorite enemy.
Let's go with Shy Guy. So what kind of game could Shy Guy have?
Overcoming his fear.
Taking off his mask. That's
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah, I
So,
don't.
Is this a new
Shy
kind
Guy
of
is
game?
like he's had a lot of variations. If you don't
Yeah, you got
remember,
Fly Guy.
Yeah, there's Fly Guy. He's been on
the
stilts.
the gas mask one. You
That's
know what I'm
Sniff
talking
It.
about from
That's
Yoshi's?
a different character.
Yeah,
That's it.
idiot.
Well, it's
I mean,
Sorry.
what could be
Excuse me,
interesting
princess.
Hasn't he had a spear before somewhere in Yoshi's Island or something?
Yes. Yeah, like tribal.
in different
Like-
in different
like paint.
worlds, you could have different roles. You know, like the first world, you start out as a traditional shy guy, and then you move on to like the stilted shy guy. Then you're spear shy guy. I do
Oh my
like
goodness, what if
when you get to fly guy. That could be like a fun cloud, like you're up in the clouds kind of level.
you got to like what if it started off like with like a video and it like went through the life of like growing up in a family of like with a mom and dad of shy guys, and you're like eating at the dinner table and talking about like your homework.
Just starting at the roots of shy guy, so we get to see where
Yeah,
his
the
shyness
roots, yeah.
comes from.
I love a good character development, you know. So, you know, and maybe then he actually shows his face, but then he decides to hide it, you know.
Hasn't there been pictures of, or maybe they're just fan mock-ups?
Yeah,
They're probably fan mock-ups.
yeah.
It's just
But-
I could only
But
imagine. Yeah.
so you're picturing like a platformer, like or like a side scrolling, or I'm picturing like a Nintendo 64 like 3D platformer. You just like
Okay, so like
walking
a
around.
Kirby 64 type thing.
Yes, yes.
See, my initial thought, goes to 2D, but 3D would be.
or like Luigi's Mansion, kind of like that kind of.
I'm in.
Okay, so there actually is 3 dimensions, but it's kind of in a diorama box type
Yes,
type
yes.
thing.
Captain Toad-esque, even. Yeah, yeah.
That could
yeah,
be
yeah.
hard to do as an actual platformer.
Right.
It's doable.
Yeah. All right.
So
That or
I
you could
think
make
they
it-
asked who do you want to develop this game, which that's always a hard question to answer. But
Monolith Soft.
you know,
A good feel.
Open world
Good feel would be awesome.
JRPG. Yeah, I mean,
Good feel's a good one.
you know they would make a beautiful world. And it would be
Or,
cool
like-
to see like the dark, like the Bowser side of things. You know what I mean? Like, what does that? We always see the Mushroom Kingdom and all that, and you always see Bowser and the crew coming in to invade that. But like, where are they living? You know, I want to see that world too.
I know.
So it could be a whole, you know, a lot of creative freedom involved in this
Yep.
game.
I like it. Shy Guys.
Suffering adventure.
Succotash. Suffering Adventure.
Suffer and succotash.
Yes. Okay. Well, I like it, and we could come up with a bunch of those. If anyone has any ideas that they thought of while listening, please email us, and we'll read them on the show. Now, second question: you have been chosen to create a Switch game based on the almighty King of the Hill. Who do you get to develop it, and what's the pitch?
Oh, I'm sorry. The way you develop it was was for the second question.
Oh, there you go.
Well, it
Yeah,
worked
yeah.
for the first one too.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
I
well,
mean, propane, baby, Rockstar.
Yeah, I figure that's the obvious choice is the propane and propane accessories, but that's what they're
that's
expecting.
obvious.
Yeah.
Well, they already have the Grand Theft Arlen.
Yeah. Oh, you could do like I'm trying to think like Weapon Shop de Osame, you know, like
Yeah.
where it's just you hang out in the
Yes.
shop and you're battling. It could be sort of like
You hang out at
a
Strickland?
sim.
Propane.
It could be sort of like a
And
sim
then-
game where you need to increase sales and
You need to beat Thatherton.
yeah, you've got Thatherton and the other
Yes.
enemy propane establishments,
Yes.
and then you could sort of branch out, and you know you start out in
Yes.
Arlen, but
And
then
go
all
to
of a
Strickland
sudden-
North.
Yep.
Yes, I like it. And then you got to make sure Buck doesn't gamble away any of his franchises.
Yeah. Just when it's sort of like SimCity, you know, when things are going well, all of a sudden like a tornado shows up. Like, oh, here comes Buck.
Except for instead of a tornado, it's Buck going into like a poker game.
Oh no, he's going to the jug store.
Jug Store Cowboys.
Oh,
Perfect.
all right.
Now, develop it. We would pick. Obviously, it would be.
Obviously, let me rack my brain for a developer here.
Platinum Games. There you go.
Oh my
What?
Just kidding. I don't know. It would have to be Western developed. So
It'd have to be like who made
Like
who
the
made
Adult Swim games type guys. They might be able to do
yeah, there
something
you
with
go. Adult Swim games. That makes sense, right?
Developed
Since
by
it's
Mike
on
Judd
Adult Swim.
himself.
Judge.
That's what I said, Jimmy.
You said Judd.
Judge, excuse me. Pardon my French. But we've got one last question here.
Yep.
Bonus
round.
What
Read it off.
do you feel are some underrated eShop only gems that you think deserve a look? Justin Nation grunts accepted as answers.
eShop only games that deserve a look.
See, this
Underrated.
is I mean, obvious one that has sort of been talked about in the show, Guns, Gore, and Cannoli 2. Now I don't know if he means literally eShop only in the sense that like just a digital download, or if he means exclusively for the eShop. But I mean, that one's not exclusive, but it is exclusive to download. Like I said, really fun little game. Miles and Kilo, that's an easy one we've talked about. You know, I'm trying to think of ones that we haven't really talked all that much about.
Riptide GP Renegade.
That's like Wave Race, right?
Yes. And it's super cheap, and usually it's on sale. It's crazy. It's a great multiplayer game, and you can play online, and it's $10, but like you can get it for $5 usually on sale, and it plays like Wave Race. Also, Human Fall Flat. Oh, I love Human Fall Flat. That's a really fun game. But that's pretty well known. Hero Blaster, of course.
That's good. Yeah.
I'm going through. I'm trying to peep on some of these games I've downloaded.
Yep.
We've talked about Fox and Forests. That's a good one. Tesla vs. Lovecraft,
Yes.
man. Woo!
Yes.
Like I said, again
10 tons.
another game with a name that like honestly put me off of it for a while. But then when I got into it, it was so much fun. Really,
Totally.
like unbelievably amount of fun. I probably put a whole lot of hours into that game. But yeah, I mean,
Bomb Chicken.
that's one I've been wanting to try. Night Terrors.
It's great.
That was a fun little, pretty inexpensive. You know, not a super long game, but a pretty fun little 2D scroller. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we do a pretty decent job of talking about some of the
I think that literally is our job.
underappreciated ones. So
Totally.
yeah, good stuff.
Cool. Splasher. Oh, I gotta say Splasher. Just thinking about that literally today. Splasher. Check that out if you love platformers.
Boom.
Made by the Rayman Legends guys.
Now I know TYP. You said you don't get to dabble too much in the anyone. So I mean, you don't have any to add in, I assume.
I got none.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't want to just not give you the opportunity in case, but I figured I know you're a busy man, so.
Yeah.
But yes, awesome questions. We always appreciate you guys writing in, so feel free to email us at talknintendopodcast@nintendoworldreport.com, the longest URL or email ever. You can also just tweet questions at us at talknintendopod. That's talknintendo
POD.
And why don't you tell everyone where they can find you, TYP, as well as radio trivia and all that good stuff?
Absolutely. You can find me on Twitter at YoungerPlumber. I also have a podcast, which you kind of heard sort of today, which you can find that in the Nintendo World Report website or search for it in iTunes. Which is called Radio Trivia Podcast Edition. Kind of a boring title, but there's history behind it. So
it's also a very long title as well.
Check it out. And you know, there's a whole backlog of those too. So if you have not listened to that podcast, I mean, they're kind of timeless episodes because you know, for the most part, they were already old games when we first recorded them. So you know, they don't really age that much. So check that out. That's about it.
Yes, they're definitely evergreen episodes, and like you said, it's cool it's like a nice time capsule on some, like hearing some of the games that came out around that time, but now they're not so new, obviously. But always a great podcast to listen to. So you guys should all check that out. But
absolutely,
I think that's gonna bring us to a close here. Nice, healthy, long episode. Another one in the books, and. Again, thank you, TYP, for taking some time to come hang out.
Sure.
And
thank you for inviting me.
No problem.
And for editing my podcast for me.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we could thank Perry for that one. And yes, until next time, we'll see you later.
Have a good week.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, well, that's one of the few games I'm willing to absolutely not listen to with headphones, so.
Next we have, what do we have, TYP?
Spencer.